What were the three officers attached to the Presidential Escort Unit doing at the home of Oscar Sudi on the night the police raided the same home to arrest the vocal member of parliament? What were the three officers doing at Oscar Sudi's residence? That's the question which most Kenyans are currently asking. Were they sent there to try and sneak out Oscar Sudi from being arrested? Or is it possible that these guys just found themselves there? And how will their presence at the home of Oscar Sudi be taken, politically speaking? Is it possible that the president's security has been compromised? Those are the questions which most Kenyans are currently asking. Let me take you through our constitution, what it's saying about the Presidential Escort Unit. It says, the unit is established to support the following functions of the Kenya Police Service in accordance with Section 24 of the National Police Service Act 2021. Number one, to provide security and protection to His Excellency the President. So that's their primary role, to provide security to His Excellency the President. So these these three officers are actually supposed to be a team which is supposed to protect the president. So that's number one, the first function. The second function is to provide security to the First Lady. Number two is to provide security to the First Family. So after providing security to the president, they now go and secure the First Family. That is the First Lady, the children, immediate family, like now maybe the father and the rest. So because that's now the First Family, it provides security to them. The second people these guys are supposed to protect, number three, is to provide security to retired presidents. So they're supposed to provide security to Mwai Kibaki, because Mwai Kibaki is currently the only living president, former president we have in this country. So Mwai Kibaki. So anytime Mwai Kibaki is anywhere, these guys are supposed to provide security to him. Number four is to provide security to His Excellency, the Deputy President. So the Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto, is also supposed to be secured by this Presidential Escort Unit. Number five is to provide security to visiting heads of states and governments. So if there's any visiting head of state or head of government, that is the president or prime minister of another country, then the same Presidential Escort Unit is supposed to protect them. And number six, they're saying provide security to any other VIP as may be directed by the Inspector General. So the Inspector General might decide that today Makwiny has become a very important person in this country. So we are going to provide him with the escort security. So this is how people like Raila Odinga finds themselves sometimes being escorted by this unit, even former vice president. But it's upon probably with the advice of the National Security Council or the advice of the president or just the Inspector General deciding to protect a Kenyan, a very important, not just any other person. So Oscar Sudi, in my view, does not fall anywhere in this category. How did these guys find themselves at Oscar Sudi's residence? Now, this is the story. On Friday, Oscar Sudi led a major demonstration in Eldoret town against what he called the COVID billionaires. That same week, Oscar Sudi had actually caused a huge storm by dragging the name of the president's mother after Johanna Ngeno was arrested. So there were a lot of pressure for Oscar Sudi to be arrested. And major demonstrations were held across the country. That was on Tuesday, Wednesday, I think, and even on Thursday. So on Friday, Oscar Sudi decided to organize another demonstration about the COVID. As Oscar Sudi was planning that, the police were actually planning also to arrest Oscar Sudi. So they were planning to arrest Oscar Sudi either before the rally, before his demonstration, or after. So a contingent of police, 2 lorries, Mariamu, were dispatched to Eldoret town to arrest Oscar Sudi. But because these guys did not want to interrupt the operations in Eldoret town, they thought it was wise not to arrest Oscar Sudi before the rally. And again, later on, Oscar Sudi was not arrested after the rally as had been planned. These guys continued putting a lot of strategies on how to arrest Oscar Sudi. So Oscar Sudi actually went and retired at his residence in Kapsaret. So these guys now started monitoring Oscar Sudi through his phone. So Oscar Sudi's phone was actually in his house with him. So they started planning on how to go and raid Oscar Sudi. Now, this is what happened. This is how now the 3 gentlemen found themselves at Oscar Sudi's residence. On this same day, these 3 gentlemen were with the deputy president. So as usual, they secured the deputy president and later on delivered him to his Sugoi home and handed him over, his security over to the GSU who are manning that compound. There were 3 gentlemen. And then one of them, who is their boss, Chief Inspector Ekiru, told the other 2 to go with him waende kwake. So he's actually a neighbor to Oscar Sudi. So the 3 drove from Sugoi to the residence so that they could sleep there. So once he arrived there, he calls Oscar Sudi and tells Oscar Sudi, I think on phone, Oscar Sudi probably told him, oh, I fear I might be arrested. And this guy told Oscar Sudi, according to him, nobody is planning to arrest him. So Oscar Sudi then invited him because they are neighbors. We kuja kwangu. Probably waongee nini. So this guy then, in company of these other 2 gentlemen, constables, went to Oscar Sudi's residence. Unknown to them, the police were actually tracking Oscar Sudi's phone. And the mere fact that this guy communicated with Oscar Sudi, then these guys were confirmed that Oscar Sudi was there. So they, from nowhere, the police went and surrounded that home. Remember, this chief inspector called Oscar Sudi. Oscar Sudi spoke with him through his phone in his house. Because, these guys are able to know where you are calling from. Then when these guys surrendered Oscar Sudi's home, again, Oscar Sudi, using his phone, called the media that the police have surrounded his home. And these guys confirmed that this guy was there. So they surrounded the home. After surrounding the home, then, what's the drama, the ugly drama which we witnessed there. So the locals came, there were push and pull, and ultimately a police officer was hurt, a villager was hurt, and they realized Oscar Sudi was not there. He had sneaked out. And this is why they are believing that the chief inspector, Ikuru, was the guy who sneaked Oscar Sudi out. Because he's the one who brought these 2 gentlemen. These 2 gentlemen were actually found in the house. So these guys came 3. Oscar Sudi was there. According to the telephone conversation, Oscar Sudi called this guy. And because they are able to know where the phones are, these phones were the same building, the same place with Oscar Sudi. Then when the police came, Oscar Sudi's phone was in the house. Then Chief Inspector Ikuru then switched off his phone. By the time the police arrived, he switched off his phone. Then when these guys later on accessed the home, Oscar Sudi was not there, the chief inspector was not there, and they found these 2 gentlemen. And these 2 gentlemen were now the Constable Simon Siengo and Isaac Dida. They found them there. And also they found 3 bunduki tatu, 2 pistols, and a rifle. And according to the details, one of them belonged to the chief inspector, who was not here. So which means this guy was also in this house. And that's why his phone signal was found there. And also that's why his rifle was also found in the same compound. And indeed, it was confirmed that these guys came to Oscar Sudi's residence with a Prado. And they even gave the Prado. I'm talking of this because these things are documented in OB number 21 at Langas Police Station. OB number 21 on 12th September 2020. So this is why it is being speculated or suspected that this chief inspector came specifically to try and rescue Oscar Sudi. Or if that was not the case, when these police surrounded Oscar Sudi's residence, then there was a way they helped this guy and Oscar Sudi to sneak. And this is where the county commander is having issues, because he was also summoned to Nairobi to go and explain why he was unable to arrest Oscar Sudi. He's also being accused of aiding Oscar Sudi to evade arrest. But who sent these three gentlemen here? That's the question which most people are asking. We can only talk of three main issues around the presence of these people at Oscar Sudi's residence. Number one is the president's security. These three gentlemen are supposed to secure the president, the deputy president, their first family, and foremost the president. We know that Oscar Sudi was being sought to be arrested. These guys still didn't realize that they came to Oscar Sudi's residence. And apart from that, Oscar Sudi had been insulting the first lady and the first family. So these guys still found their way here. So the question which Kenyans are asking, is it possible that the president might not be safe? And where is the allegiance of these people? That's the first thing which is being asked. I don't know whether answers will be found, but one thing I can assure you is that major changes are going to happen around the people in that particular unit, the Presidential Escort Unit. There's changes will have to be done, because up to now, the chief inspector was still missing. Number two, the second issue which is going to arise is the issue of infiltration. Is it possible that these guys have actually infiltrated the presidency through this unit? Because this is the unit which is supposed to protect the president. Now they are with Oscar. Of course, these are neighbors. They talk, But when Oscar Sudi was under that kind of attack, it means even the security apparatus were actually on him. Then these guys still found time to go there. Is it possible that these guys have managed to penetrate the president? Because remember, every time, almost everything the president has been doing, Itumbi is always posting. Is it possible that they've managed to penetrate or infiltrate the presidency and the president through some of these guys? And lastly, I am also sure that the name of the deputy president is going to be dragged, whether he was aware these guys were going there or not, because it will be interpreted that Oscar Sudi is a close ally of the deputy president, and therefore the mere fact that these guys were found there and this other guy sneaked with Oscar Sudi, then the deputy president probably might have sent him to go and help, must have sent them to go and help rescue Oscar Sudi, which might not be the case. Because if these guys are neighbor, chances are that these guys are always visiting each other. They always have drinks there. They always talk because they are neighbors. And they've been in the same government for a long time now, by the way. Yeah, so probably this guy and Oscar Sudi are just friends. But Oscar Sudi is also being accused of having sent a message to the county commander, Mr. Mr. Ipara. Oscar Sudi is also being accused of having sent a message to the police commandant that he feels betrayed. So betrayed from what? And that's why that guy was actually summoned to go to Nairobi. Let us wait and see how this whole event is going to unfold. But I think it's not going to be business as usual around the president and his security. Thank you guys, and please may you enjoy your day.